Something I've been obsessed with forever, for as long as I remember, is making. For example, this hat was black when I purchased it, and I dyed it with some bleach to make it look more unique. This t-shirt I printed myself in my kitchen some time ago. Bikes. I mean, I think one of the big reasons why I got so deep into retro builds was the fact that I like building and creating. So when rack hackers contacted me and said, would you like to build a pannier? I said, yes, that's exactly what I'd like to do. So this is a pannier. This is a very normal pannier. It goes on the side of your bike. You put stuff in it, it's a bag. It buckles up. This is a canister. One you could put water in it, or petrol, or I don't know, stuff. Well, with one of the kits from Rack Hackers, we're going to turn that canister into a pannier for my bike. So Rack Hackers is run by two brothers in Romania. They actually came up with the idea in 2012 when they were doing a backpacking trip southbound from Chile. They essentially had all their bikes built up and ready to go, but they were struggling to find panniers in time, and I think they actually saw the idea or something similar somewhere else and decided to give it a go. After completing their backpacking trip and discovering how good these plastic panniers are, they decided to refine the idea and create the kit, which is available now on their website. So when Andreas emailed me to ask me to try it out, they were very keen on getting more people to try it out and get more kind of an idea of how it works and how it looks. And spoiler alert, I absolutely love it. It's very, very cool, and we're going to find out how easy it is to build in a moment when we build the video. But I wanted to say now is the fact that they were nice enough to actually send me a couple of these kits. I'm going to give one of these kits away over on my Instagram account in a few days time. So if you are keen on this, or if you're enjoying this video, do go over to my Instagram, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that, but I will be giving away one of these over there. But once you've got your kit and you've got all the bits and pieces you need, the next thing you need to do is find some plastic containers. Containers, or the plastic cans, are quite easy to find anywhere in the UK, I've discovered. I got mine on eBay. I wanted to find some secondhand used ones just because I think one of the beauties of this whole kit is the fact that you can recycle it. Essentially, you're going to find something that's going to be wasted, thrown away, whatever, and you're repurposing it to create something beautiful. I couldn't find any that were the same size and didn't previously have petrol in them, or there was one that it said like hazardous or something. I was like, I'm not sure how I feel about those ones. So I did buy some new ones, and they look like this. I got these lovely big white ones. I think they're 20 litres, and you need two of them to make one pannier. You need one to be the actual pannier itself, and then one as a lid. This one has a dirty great big dent in it, which I might be able to get out if I needed to, but this is the one that I'm going to use as a lid, and then the other one will be the main body of the pannier. I'm not the sharpest tool in the toolbox. That was a very good way of showing that, but these instructions are very, very simple to read, and I'm going to show them a little bit as I go through the steps, but they do also have a how-to video on their website. I think it's Andreas who actually videoed it, and it's very, very easy to watch, but I thought I'd use the guide on paper just because I like practicing my reading. But this is the first part we need to do, which is essentially cut a big hole in one of the cans. The best thing to do when you do this, especially if you're someone like me, is draw it out. You could free ball it and just kind of go for it, but that's ridiculous. The one other thing I'd say at this point is don't use a Sharpie, because you may not kind of cut it all the way, and you might leave black mark, basically is what I'm getting at. I'll use a dry white marker. You could use a pencil or felt tip, I guess, and I could just wash it off or wipe it off afterwards, but some expert line drawing here, I gotta say. Like, good job, Craig. That's not wobbly at all. For the lid, you need to cut off a couple of inches down the can, and I noticed there's like a line around the edge of this one, so instead of drawing a mark all the way around it to then wipe it off afterwards, I just thought I'd follow the line that was already there. Well, that's rubbish.
whoa.
So I wouldn't describe myself as a power tool kind of guy, and I had to buy this to do this. I figured I could use a handsaw, but it would probably take me about 500 years. So this was like 20 quid or something. I'm sure it'll come in handy for cutting things at some point. So yeah, I went round and cut the line. My woodwork teacher once told my parents that watching me cut wood was painful, and he really didn't enjoy doing it. Well, the joke's on him because it's the only subject I passed. So I had a little go cleaning off some of the dry white marker here. It came off pretty easily. A bit of water out, come off completely. So yeah, I was right about this bit. So I'm cutting the lid now. You could cut all the way from the top, but I'm going to use this drill piece as almost like a pilot hole. I think that's the right term you say when you do things like this, as a pilot hole. I don't know, but there you go, there's a hole out. I can put my blade in there and then cut round the thing. I did this terribly. This is really wobbly. Thankfully it kind of is fine. I could probably clear it, tidy it up a little bit afterwards, but it's very forgiving type of task, so it's fine. The plastic is a little bit like torn up now around the edges, so to clean it up I used the flat edge of an Allen key. A file probably would have been a better tool to use. Naturally I couldn't find that, so I used this and it worked okay. I realised at this point I didn't even know if it was going to work and if the lid would go on, and it does, which was extremely satisfying, but now hard to get off, so we should probably attach the handles. The kits also come with these really nice stickers. It's Pannier bike packing, very cool. You know what this segue is, don't you? That's right, stickers. At the time making this video, I only have the proper crusty pixie dust stickers left. I've got a feeling there might be one or two of these, but the Save All Bikes ones are gone. I think there might be one or two of those left as well. I've got a couple of orders to kind of finish from last week's. I released these last week and you guys went mad for them. I'm still trying to, usually I spend a lot of money on a big batch of stickers and they last me a month. Lately, I spend all this money on stickers and you buy them after one video. Thank you so much. You make all of this possible, but chill out a little bit because I'm just a guy. It takes me ages to package all these up and put them in envelopes and stuff. I'm not complaining, I'm really grateful, honestly. But if you do want to check out the stickers, saveallbikes.com. There's loads of other stickers on there as well, but the pixie dust ones, there might be one or two if you're lucky left over. But I should probably reorder them because I'm getting emails every day. Are you reordering? Are you reordering? I will reorder some. So the handles are a lot simpler than you'd think. I was a bit worried that this bit would be kind of tricky to do. Essentially, you got to drill holes in the parts and then bolt them in. So the handle itself needs to be 12 centimeters apart from each other, or the bolts of the handle need to be 12 centimeters apart, and they'll leave a little loop on top of it, where you can then hold it like a handle, because it's a handle. Once you've got the positioning for your handle, you can then mark it out with your marker again. Double check it. This is important parts now. Well, it's all important really. Double check everything when you're measuring things. But yeah, once you've got it in the place you want it, you can then just drill through with the drill. I very luckily, just point this out, the drill piece was the exact right size. It's the only drill piece that I have. I bought a drill piece set at one point. I don't know where they are. So luckily this one worked. The handles itself comes with all the hardware you need already attached to it, and you can just basically bolt it all together with an Allen key on one side and then your spanner on the other, and that is just that's it. Very, very simple, very easy to work out. And then to attach the lid to the actual body itself, you basically need to measure around about 15 meters, I was going to say then, centimeters below the lid. I basically measured 15 centimeters and then kind of just like made sure there was enough room for adjustments. Essentially, the lid needs to be able to come off of the canister, and then when it goes back on, you've got room to actually adjust the tightness of the strap. There you go, got there in the end. And again, then just bolt it all in. Simple. I keep saying how simple this is and how good it is, but I genuinely mean it. Like, it's just, that's it. And it just works. Just a simple strap across the top of the canister, a couple of bolts, easy. Very, very impressed. I honestly mean it. So the only bike I currently have with a rear rack on it is the cargo bike, and in my head the cargo bike made sense anyway. I use it the most and this is going to come in handy, so I figured this would be the best bike to do it on. The rack, if you've seen my previous cargo bike video where I built this or put the rack on there, it's awful and it's like OEM and it's just pants. The kit doesn't fit on this rack very well. If you've got a very normal rack, it'll be fine, but essentially you get these two red hooks that you attach to the top part of the bag, and then another mechanism which I'll go over to in detail in a moment to actually lock it into place. Measuring the hooks to put on the actual rack itself is pretty simple, but essentially you just find the right spot for them, drill a hole, and then you can just pop it in, easy as pie. The actual red hooks fit on my rack perfectly fine, and there's a few different sizes for them, but it's the next bit that I did struggle with quite a bit. So for the third point of contact and the bit that locks the pannier in place, you use these blue blocks. There's a few different sizes of these as well, and they will fit pretty much any rack on the market apart from this stupid one from Cube. I do want to stress at this point, it's nothing to do with the rack hackers. This, like I say, there's lots of different sizes, but this bar is very oversized because it is weight bearing instead of like most racks which have more points of contact with the bike, where this has literally that one bit on the frame and that's it. So what I'm going to do, and this will be a temporary fix, I want to talk to Andreas and see if we can find a better way of doing this on this rack, but I'm just going to use one of the blue spaces on one side to bolt into, and then the metal bit, which there should be a blue bit in between them, straight onto the bar. I do wonder if this is more to protect the rack. I feel like this actually works quite well, like it's holding in place quite well, but I will update you once I've spoken to Andreas about it and see if I can find out what the better option would be if you do happen to have a very similar rack to mine. But for the purpose of this video, we can continue and attach the rack, the bag, the pannier. So back over to the table, and I'm going to drill in this thing again. So the very last thing is a quick release bit. So essentially you hook the red hooks onto the rack, and then you use this quick release part to attach to that metal bit. That means you can quite easily lock it into place and then by hands just unlock it to take it on and off the bike whenever you choose. The first time attaching it is a little bit fiddly, just kind of like working it out and then getting the quick release correct so you had enough space and enough tightness on there, but as soon as you've done it, you're good. A very important and good test I thought would be to see how good this works is how easy it is to do with one hand, and as you can see with my hand, I don't know what that was, it was really easy, and then you can just pop it back on, pull the straps. I mean, it's hard to film it and do it one hand, but look, done. I mean, look at it. Now I gotta say, this kind of video is very up my street. Like I said at the beginning, I'm a creative person. I like to create, I like to make. So building bikes gets me very exciting, but building something like this is just something completely different and very rewarding. So if you are this kind of person, this is the very DIY job for you. On the Rack Hackers website, which is all going to be linked below, by the way, they have all the tutorials on how to do this, and the photos they have on there and instructions are really good. So if you get stuck with anything, you'll find all the information you want there. But what they also have is the ability to actually build these kits yourself. So if you actually want to go even further into this and create your own straps and source your own bolts and things like that, you can. I wouldn't necessarily suggest that, because these kits, this whole thing with all the different straps and little bits you need inside it, is 20 euros. It's nothing, and it is extremely well made and very well thought out. So go and give them some money. The actual different add-on kits as well, so if you are someone who needs a different size rack and different space and things like that, I think their kits are like 3 or 4 euros depending on which bit it is. It's nothing, and it, like I say, it's made very well. You won't regret it. However, if you want to win one of their kits, I will be doing a giveaway on my Instagram this week, so do look out for that. I'm going to give away the whole kit, and then all the spares they gave me, I'm going to send those with the kit as well. So you should have everything you need to build one, plus all the spares, just in case you have a different size rack. You'll be ready to build a pannier in no time at all. Go and show some love to these guys. Head over to their Instagram, again I'll link that below. Follow them, send them some messages, learn more about their story. That, like, it is a genuine kind of like homegrown thing. It's not just some big corporation churning out products. Like, this is something really well thought out about some dudes who've been bikepacking and decided this is what they wanted to do, and it's really good. I said how much I like it so much during this video. It's probably getting a little bit over the top, isn't it? Well, if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed this video, do feel free to give it a like down below. Give us a comment as well. Let's start talking about these DIY projects. Have you got one that I should go and check out? Maybe there's someone who's DIY'd. I should have thought this out more before I said it. A backpack, I don't know. But what DIY projects have you done that's cycling related? And if you enjoyed these videos and you want to see more, I do post videos weekly, sometimes twice a week if you're lucky, and this is the button to subscribe to the channel. And if you want to see one of my bike builds, that one there is a particularly good one.